Welcome to the Know Nothing Show with Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman, who've been in the legal profession for over 30 years and now want to share their experience and knowledge with you. Hey, maybe they do know a little something. You can join Alan and Rich by calling in toll-free 1-800-889-0267 or watch them on elkinsandfriedman.com on Friday nights. Now your hosts for the next hour, Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman.
And hey now, and a good evening to everybody. We've got a big crew here tonight.
Yeah, what's going on tonight?
What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. We have a special guest.
Special guest.
And you know, in the past, I've had some of my more interesting clients on,
like
including
the burlesque
lovely
dancer
Nicole.
we had, Nicole. Sure.
And I had my burlesque performer.
She was great.
Tonight, I probably have, with all deference to Nicole, probably my most interesting case that I've had, at least that I can remember. I'm going a little senile, so I don't remember all the cases, but this one I remember.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to tease you, Richard. I'm not going to tell you about it yet.
Okay.
As always, I just want to say good evening to everybody. If you'd like to join us on the air, you can do so by either watching us live at the KnowNothingShow.com, or you're more than welcome to listen to us on iHeartRadio, or, of course, our station, WBZT 1230 AM in the Palm Beaches. Should you care to join us, you can reach us at 561-844-6167 or nationwide 1-800-889-0267. So let me just start by saying this has been a heck of a week, Richard.
I know, and it's not over yet.
It's not over, but let me tell you.
Yeah.
You know how my day started? Actually, both of our days started in the same way, and that's simply we both ended up going to the dentist this morning.
I know, almost at the same time.
Now, what happened to me, you know, I was in Las Vegas last week for the first time, not related to any, activities I may have undertaken, but I developed a sudden coldness. You know, I drank something and I had a shooting pain up my sinuses, I guess, or my brain. I don't know, one of those.
Maybe a little.
I had a pain. That's the point. So what happened? I came home last week, went away for a little bit, and then again I drank something, and it's like I went to the moon. It was horrible. So I called my dentist, lovely Colombian dentist. I probably have the cutest little Colombian dentist that you can imagine. And she's good. She's not very tall, but she's good. So she can reach others. So I went to her this morning, and she gave me the, Alan, you didn't listen to me. You waited. You shouldn't have waited. About a year and a half ago, when she showed me the x-rays, she showed me that I had some, it looked like I guess a black area. And Freddie, if you get a chance, put the picture up. Oh, here, Freddie's putting the picture up. For anybody looking, that is my tooth. Once they uncovered, that's not what my tooth. One of my sons, I sent him the picture, and he says, "Is that what your tooth looked like all along?"
That's a pretty bad-looking tooth.
My tooth was covered. Okay, but when she drilled in there, that's the rot in my tooth. It's disgusting, God. Nicole, right?
I've never seen a tooth that bad. I mean, that's like
horrible.
You could win the Academy Award for best looking bad tooth.
Well, worst looking tooth. That's from eating years and years of candy.
Okay, chocolate in there, lodged in there.
It's disgusting. So what happened? She actually did me a favor by coming in this morning at 8 o'clock. She says, "I have to send you to somebody." She was leaving for Chicago for a dental conference, so she sent me to another dentist who I went to at about 3:30. 4 o'clock today. And again, normally dentists don't work. It was a good guy. I told him I was going to mention his name. It's Dr. Shapiro. Go figure.
Dr. Shapiro?
Dr. Shapiro.
He's an Irishman.
That's right. So I saw Dr. Shapiro. He took good care of me. He did whatever, injected some more, did some scraping, and it was okay. And I at least I had the brain power to say on the way out, "Doctor, can you, just in case, can you give me like an Advil or something?" So give me an 800 milligram Advil, something for pain. And sure enough, it's starting to hurt. But the good news is I'm not drooling. I'm not drooling anymore on the left side.
As soon as you start drooling, we're taking you to the nursing home.
The nursing home. And then I'll join Nicole's mom there. Just kidding, Nicole's mom, if you're listening. So let me say, before we get started, I'm going to do a quick introduction. As always, we have Freddie switching sides. Freddie, the producer. Freddie, I don't know if you can stick your hand in there and wave today. I don't know what camera you'd be on. We have his able assistant, Linda. Linda's floating around outside. I don't know doing what. We have Lynn the board up. How are you tonight, Lynn?
Good. How are you?
So, Lynn, with all these special people we have, am I going to get thrown out of here next week? What do you think? Is it over?
No, just see if your key works when you get here next week.
Actually, they took away my key and then gave it back. So, whatever that means. We have, again, the beautiful Nicole looking more beautiful than ever.
Thank you, Alan.
Nicole, how's the new business going?
It's going fantastic.
And anybody that wants to partake of Nicole's beauty treatment so they can look like Nicole, where do they call Nicole?
You could actually call 561-441-0383.
And what do they get if they call?
Well, you can make an appointment with me for a massage, a facial, do waxing. I do
Little waxing? You know, Richard needs a good wax. He's just telling me.
What's wrong with my back?
Yeah,
didn't
no.
say your back.
Actually, you do have a hairy back. Why don't you care to share that with us tonight, or not really?
Not really. Maybe later.
All right, now listen, and remember how I teased us. And I have a special guest here, and probably the most interesting client I've ever had. You know the guy that says he's the most interesting man in the world, drink his beer?
Yes.
It's not that guy. It's this guy right here.
This guy right here?
This guy's reading a book. So, here, where are you? Is Freddie? There he is in the shot. Okay, we have him in the shot. And his name, for anybody that's listening, is Paul T. Goldman. Now, I might say, I'm not sure that's his right name, but that's the name that we have to use for legal purposes. So Mr. Paul T. Goldman's with us, and Mr. Paul T. Goldman will share his story with us as soon as we come back from break. But he's written a book. It's called Duplicity. Is that the name of the book, Mr. Goldman?
That's the name of the book.
All right, get a little closer to that mic. All right, now it's duplicity, and it's cleverly, I see, what is this? If I hold this up to a mirror, it's duplicity backwards?
Absolutely.
It's
That's
very
it.
clever. Who thought of that?
I thought of that.
Did you think of that? All right, so
Hold it up.
somebody that wants to read the book in the mirror. Look at this, our Cracker Jack producer.
Oh, there it is.
Right up on the screen.
Duplicity.
And there you go, duplicity.
It's very nice.
Now, when we come back from the break, Mr. Goldman's going to share his saga with us as a married man in a marriage that fortunately didn't end too long, but it was interesting.
Didn't last too long, you mean?
Didn't last too long. Before we go to break, how long did this marriage last, Mr. Goldman?
Technically, between the time we were married and the time the divorce was filed, was just under a year.
I noticed you didn't say consummated. And you know
I thought that's what he was
I don't
gonna
want to
say.
ruin it. I know that we're going to be filming this, so I'll tell you what, Lynn. Let's go to our first break, and then when we come back, we'll interview our guest.
What happened?
Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins & Friedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins & Friedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. Today, so many different companies are offering varied views and choices to a healthier life, but few companies offer healthier choices, healthy tips, and multiple choices under one roof. Presenting Regions Park of Boca Raton's first Health and Wellness Expo on Saturday, May 17th. From 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., Regions Park of Boca Raton will have the medical community in-house to educate and inform the public on many needed services, such as blood pressure screenings, Healthy Touch Reiki, and much, much more. Regions is located at 6363 Verde Trail in Boca Raton, Florida, 33433, and it's free to the public. Delicious food samplings will be featured, and healthy tips for better living will be offered. Valet parking will be available too. For more information, call 561-483-9282 or visit their website at www.regionsparkofbocaraton.com. Follow them on Facebook or YouTube and mark it on your calendar. May 17th at 10 a.m. at Regions Park of Boca Raton. Let them help get you on the path to better living. please welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet network that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet television production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes and live streaming, as well as tape productions. Let AMP2 TV handle all of your television production needs. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages, and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP2.tv. Or call them at 1-866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422. This is the Know Nothing Show with practicing attorneys Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman. Elkins and Friedman have been helping folks throughout Florida for more than 30 years, and they're here now to share their knowledge and experiences with you. Stand by for more information and fun.
Hi, Richard, and we're back, and we're ready for some more fun, are we not?
Yes. Keep
All right,
going.
let the fun begin. As I said, going into that break, we have a special guest with us, and his name is Paul T. Goldman. I'd love to say that he wrote a bestseller named Duplicity. It's not a bestseller yet, but perhaps after people listen to our show, it may become a bestseller.
Great.
So let's begin the interview process here, Mr. Paul T. Goldman. Now, you called me at one point for a divorce, correct?
That's right.
All right. So what? I guess let's take it from the very beginning. Tell us what was your ex-spouse's name? Let's begin there.
Let's begin by saying that all the names have been changed.
To protect the not so innocent and the innocent.
That's right.
Yeah, you're the innocent. She's the not so innocent.
That's for sure.
All right. So what are we going to call her?
We're going to call her Audrey Munson.
Audrey Munson. That's a lovely name. Just out of curiosity, how did you come up with the name Audrey? Not a very typical name.
No. However, she thinks she's very classy, and so she thinks she's Audrey Hepburn.
Aha. Because I was going to
That's it.
say, I knew Audrey who happened to be a hooker. No, just kidding. A mere coincidence. All right. So Audrey, you gave her that name because she thought she was a regal individual.
Yes.
Now, how did you meet Audrey? Let's talk about that.
I met Audrey on a Jewish internet dating site.
Okay, was Audrey in fact Jewish, or was she pretending to be Jewish?
Her father's Jewish, her mother is not.
All right, so you met her on a Jewish internet dating site, and there's only
Can you say the name of the dating site, or?
We say that.
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, I'll say that. I think the Jewish
Only one.
introductions, or no? Yeah, there
Let's
is
call
one.
it
I don't
Jewish
know.
introductions.
Yes.
That's
Well,
a good one.
Call
listen,
it that.
our producer's been on so many, I don't know. He knows what, all right, he says move on. All right, so you met her on a site.
Yes.
And now the important question everybody wants to know, how long did you go out with her before you got to sleep with her? It's not really the most important question, but it's a question I like to know the answer to.
Audrey pretended to be a sweet, stay-at-home mom of 3 children.
Now, did Audrey in fact have children?
She did, in fact, have 3 children.
3 children?
2 from the first marriage, 1 from the second. I was the third. Now,
Okay,
the
so you
thing
were her
about-
third marriage. And
Yes.
Mr. Paul T. Goldman, this was your first marriage.
No, this was my second marriage.
This was your second. How long were you married the first time?
Oh, 4 or 5 years.
Okay, 4 or 5 years, and I know you have a beautiful son from that relationship,
Yes,
correct?
that's right.
Means
Beautiful.
everything to you.
Everything. Johnny
Okay.
is the best.
All right. I don't know if Johnny's his real name, but we'll pretend it's his real name.
I kept his name.
All right, what the
real
heck? Throw
name.
caution to the wind.
That's right.
All right, so you were a one-time loser. She was a two-time loser. You met on a Jewish dating website,
Yes.
and how did you make contact with one another?
Well, first with this, you email the person,
Okay?
then you talk on the phone, then you agree to a coffee date.
And you did all those things?
Yes.
You went out to have a little bagel, a little schmear of whatever? Is that what you did?
That's right.
All right, Freddie, for you, that's Jewish talk. I'm just
Yeah,
letting you
a
know.
little nosh. Freddie said a nosh.
All right, a little nosh. Thank you, Richard, the true Jew in the room. All right, so you met her, and how long did it take to meet her in person from when you first met her on the website?
Oh, less a week or so, a week
Okay.
or 10 days.
So did you correspond on a daily basis?
No, you know, on those websites, it happens very quickly. You you talk with the person, you email a couple times, you get their phone number, you call them within a day, and then you agree to meet a day or two later.
She have her picture on the website?
Yeah,
She looked fairly attractive?
yeah.
All right. Was her picture representative of what she actually looked like?
You know, it's funny you mention that. Why do you mention that, Alan? Is it
Because
because
I'm a
that's
funny
not...
guy.
I guess he's had some bad experiences.
Oh, no. Listen, unlike you, I go right from divorce right to the next marriage. So I've never been on one of those.
I think you took a day off. Didn't you take 1 or 2 days
Yeah,
off?
I took a day or two off. All right. So you meet her on the website. So tell me about her picture. Why is that funny to you?
Because she did look like her picture. And almost all the dates that I had been going on, the women did not.
Yeah, they fib a little.
Yeah,
they
fib a
subtract
little in the
couple
age.
pounds.
Oh,
Age.
couple dozen pounds and some years.
dozen
Yes.
pounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pounds.
Yeah, they probably don't film in the orthopedic shoes. I get it. Anyway, all right. So she was as represented. So when you first saw her, did she take your breath away, Mr. Paul T. Goldman?
I would say it was
Just pretty hot when you saw her.
Yes, I would say that.
Now, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think I've seen her with both her clothes on and off in pictures. And from what I remember, she had a rather nice
Well,
body.
hold on. Where'd you get to see these pictures?
Yeah, how did you see that?
Yeah, where'd you see these
You didn't
pictures?
show
Part of my
us.
job.
What, to see pictures?
Yeah, I didn't show you.
No, you didn't
Put 'em
show
on the
me.
screen.
Remember now,
Nobody.
we're
Write it
partners.
out.
But I
We're partners. We split 50-50.
Truth be told, tell me if you remember this. I remember one picture. Okay, it was kind of on a spiral. Wasn't she kind of like laying down, hair flowing? Know what I'm talking about?
Well, you really looked at these things.
I know, hey.
Do you have them on your phone,
Hey,
Alan?
yeah.
I remember every nook and cranny of this broad. No, but do you remember the photo I'm talking about in particular?
No, I
You
don't.
You might be mixing him up with another one of your
I
clients you
think
didn't
so.
share with me.
Well, listen, actually, I hope my wife's not listening, but
No, I hope she is.
every now, listen, it's not unusual today that people bring in pictures of their spouse that they're divorcing, or it's become an issue through one way or another. But we divert from this fascinating story. All right, so you meet her. You meet her at the restaurant. How long does it take until you become serious?
We dated on and off for a few months.
Okay,
And
and how
eventually-
frequently did you go out?
Oh, once or twice a week.
And I got to ask you, because my audience is this kind of audience,
Yeah.
were you able to close the deal with Audrey? Were you able to close it before marriage, or was she one of these, let me wait until we're married girls?
Audrey exclaimed that she was a old-fashioned girl.
Okay, old-fashioned girl. So meaning Audrey kept her legs shut until the wedding day. That's what you're telling us, right?
Pretty much until we were engaged.
Okay, until we were engaged.
How long of a time was that?
About 1 hour.
One
You were
hour?
engaged for 1 hour. So as soon as you slipped through the ring, you slipped through the salami. Can I say salami, Lynn?
You just said it, so.
All right, so you were a happy man. You were as happy as a lark.
I was very happy. Why? Because Audrey had 3 kids. Johnny fit right in the ages of the kids. Johnny had siblings. I had a loving wife. She kept on saying that this was her forever marriage. I was very happy.
Now, at the time, you owned your own residence, correct? Did you have a home?
Yes, I did.
So what was the game plan when you two decided to, I guess, so when you say you got engaged, did you talk about how long you were going to wait until you got married? Short engagement, long engagement?
Short engagement.
How short?
Couple months.
Okay, so after a couple months, had she already begun to live with you or not until?
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay, and did you have the opportunity to visit her at her home? Did you ever see where she lived?
Oh, that's part of the story.
Well, that's what
Oh,
you're
I
here to
found
share
out.
here with us.
Oh, I found out where she lived.
All right, because if my memory serves me correct, now that it's coming back, besides her body image, I think she was living in a trailer park, correct?
That's part of the whole story, Alan.
All right.
Yes.
So so did she pretend she was living someplace else other than where she lived?
Oh, for sure. She pretended to be living at her parents' place.
Okay, and I'm trying to remember, Mr. Paul T. Goldman. Was she also indicating she came from money? Wasn't that part of the story?
That was part of the story, that her family was a well-off family, going back generations, and
So this is the story she gave.
I'm sorry. And therefore, she was a stay-at-home mom, and so they were paying her to take care of her 92-year-old Alzheimer's-ridden grandmother couple hours north of
Wait,
here.
who? Oh, her parents were allegedly paying her to take care of her ill grandma,
Her family.
her family grandma. And isn't it true that actually so she wasn't with you on a day-to-day basis? She would
That's
go
right.
away, correct?
That's right. Audrey said that if we were to be married, that we could only see each other from Wednesday evenings to Saturday mornings. The rest of the time,
Well,
she
why
ends
tie up
with
her
the-
weekends with you? I mean, you know what I mean? So that's what she said. She had to take care of grandma on the weekends,
From Saturdays to Wednesdays.
from Saturdays until
Taking
Wednesdays.
care of the grandma a couple hours north. That's right.
All right, so to speed up the story, a couple months go by. You decide to make an honest woman out of her and marry her.
I married her.
Where'd you
and,
get married? I don't even know that. Where'd you get married?
The courthouse.
Okay, so went down to the courthouse, quickie ceremony, take a honeymoon with her or no?
We went on a Disney cruise the next week.
All right, kids stay home. You bring the
And we
kids.
brought all the kids.
Brought all the kids. So I imagine.
Disney.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I think it had
You
to
need
be
to have kids on the Disney
had to
cruise.
be a cramp on his honeymoon, Richard. I can't see this guy getting in.
Well, they weren't in
during
the same
cruise.
cabin. They're not like you, where you put 8 people in a cabin.
Yeah, Paul T.
You
Goldman,
probably had a
tell me-
separate cabin for the kids.
Tell me the kids had a separate cabin.
Yeah, that was part of the plan.
All right. So at least
Try
for-
it sometime.
So you listen without being too crass, although it's my nature. So you're able to have a proper sexual relationship with her at least during the honeymoon.
Well,
that
we
accurate?
talk about that in the book. I don't know if proper is the right word for it.
Really?
Well, can
Well,
we talk
she
about
wasn't
such
doing the
things?
statesman or the busboy.
No,
right? You
but-
got a little? Yes or no?
Making love with Audrey was a very robotic thing, without emotion on her part.
Well, you never met Richard's wife nor my wife, so once you get married, it's kind of all over. In fact, Nicole can chime in on that too, can't you, Nicole?
No comment right now.
That's right, 'cause
Since
your
you
ex
just
might be
gave
listening
me up,
tonight.
Thanks a lot.
That's
about
right.
that.
Well, just tell him he was good for a while, but
Yeah,
it was
sure.
over. All right, so Paul, it was robotic. You went through the motions.
She went through the motions.
She went through the motions.
Why? Because I was not really a husband to her.
All
And
right.
That's part of the story.
So
Dun, dun, dun.
you get back from the cruise. Okay, cruise is over. Did she pack her bags and say, "Mr. Paul T. Goldman, show me where my separate bedroom is," or did she move in with you?
No, she did, but of course we only saw each other from Wednesday evenings till Saturdays.
I had a question. Did he meet any of her family, parents,
Good question, Richard.
grandparents?
You meet her family?
There's a whole chapter in the book that I met her parents.
Well, go ahead. Tell it. Did you meet her parents, or at
Yes.
least they turned out to be real parents?
They were her real parents. They
seem
were
like
nuts, but they were
upstanding
her real
individuals?
parents. Upstanding? Well, they stood up.
They have all their teeth?
They did have all their teeth.
Okay, and where were they? Did you visit them at where they lived or no?
They were renting an apartment or a condo.
So you met them.
So I met them.
They didn't wink at you or say, "Hey, look at this moron coming through the door." You didn't hear anything like that.
They were
nice to you?
They were nice, but they were a little odd.
Were they odd?
Yeah, they were a little
I
odd.
wonder, what about her kids? She had
Yeah, how were the
Children.
kids?
Kids were great. I met the kids.
Kids were nice
The
kids.
They loved Johnny. Johnny loved them. Everything was
Yeah.
going good until the following Valentine's Day.
Dud.
Wait a minute, until the following Valentine's Day. Now, that sounds like a perfect note to take our next commercial break, Lynn. And when we come back, Richard, let me just say before
Yeah.
we go on break.
Yes.
You know, I have my weekly penis story about the lizard that crawled up the man's penis. I may not get to that story.
Oh my
today.
God!
You won't be
How
upset.
are we going to
will
get through the week without that story?
Well, I don't know, but I'm going to get to it. Trust me. Lynn, let's take our next break
All right.
and we'll be back.
We'll be back. Don't go away. We got more to come.
Please welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet network that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet television production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes and live streaming, as well as tape productions. Let AMP2 TV handle all of your television production needs. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP2.tv. Or call them at 1-866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422. Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins & Friedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins & Friedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. Today, so many different companies are offering varied views and choices to a healthier life, but few companies offer healthier choices, healthy tips, and multiple choices under one roof. Presenting Regions Park of Boca Raton's first Health and Wellness Expo on Saturday, May 17th. From 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., Regions Park of Boca Raton will have the medical community in-house to educate and inform the public on many needed services, such as blood pressure screenings, Healthy Touch Reiki, and much, much more. Regions is located at 6363 Verde Trail in Boca Raton, Florida, 33433, and it's free to the public. Delicious food samplings will be featured, and healthy tips for better living will be offered. Valet parking will be available too. For more information, call 561-483-9282 or visit their website at www.regionsparkofbocaraton.com. Follow them on Facebook or YouTube and mark it on your calendar. May 17th at 10 a.m. at Regions Park of Boca Raton. Let them help get you on the path to better living. This is the Elkins & Friedman Know Nothing Show. Time to get back to Alan and Rich for more. If you'd like to join in, just call in 1-800-889-0267 and become part of the show. That's 1-800-889-0267. Once again, Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman.
And we're back, everybody. Now, Richard, I have to say, I think we're even outdoing ourselves tonight. This is fascinating.
I know, this is a great story. I wish we could go on for more than an hour tonight.
And Paul, I do have the obligatory question. Who's the best attorney in Palm Beach County?
Alan Elkins.
Thank you, Paul.
Oh, now who's the next best attorney?
Mr. Freeman.
That's right.
Very
Okay.
good. You got a free plug there. And we charged you a reasonable rate, I must admit, didn't we?
Yes, it was. It was only $750 an hour.
That's a joke.
$750.
That was actually funny. You know what you do when you say something funny? Because we're on cheap effects there, you get one of those.
Okay.
Anyway, don't scare up my potential clients, Paul. All right, so we were to the point. Where did we leave off? You were married, she moved in with you, and you started to tell us, I think, about a significant Valentine's Day. That was the first time you had any hint that there may be trouble in paradise.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, so what happened on Valentine's Day?
On Valentine's Day, Audrey says to me, I want you to put my name on all your assets. At the time, I had 2 houses in Florida, and I had a business, a thriving business. I said, no, not after 3 months of a part-time marriage, maybe after a few years of a full-time marriage. She says, no, I want it all now. I may be vulnerable and innocent,
And
but
I
I'm
think
not...
the judge described you as naive, but go
I do know
ahead.
that.
So what
That's
happened?
absolutely right. But I'm not really stupid.
Okay.
So I said no. And if you want to, you can leave, which she did.
You said that in Valentine's Day. And now, wait, when I don't know if we could talk real dates. So how long had you been married up until Valentine's Day came around?
13 or 14 of those Wednesdays to Saturdays. So 3 months or so.
I love the way you say that, as opposed to like 3 months later,
Right.
2 weeks later. You
Because they
measure
really
in
weren't-
half weeks.
Because you're right, they're half weeks, so it's really half the time.
All right, so I guess I imagine you getting a little annoyed. Now, when she was with you, the days that she was with you, she actually stay in your bedroom, I assume, and
Yes.
okay, she cooked for you, cleaned for you, that type of stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so you went to work, you came home, and you think there were... Well, I guess I want to speed ahead. We don't have that much time. So, okay, tell us, so on Valentine's Day you say, hey, listen, I'm not going to put you on my assets. If you feel you have to leave, go.
That's right.
And what happened?
I was alone again.
Well, how quickly did she leave? Right away, that same day?
Oh, yeah.
Just
Did
packed
she
her bags
take-
and left?
Yeah.
Did she take any of your stuff with you, or at least she
No.
didn't do that?
No.
All right. Were there any tearful goodbyes?
No.
No. The ass hit her on the butt walking out. Is that what happened?
Kind of.
So, all right. So, what kind of contact did you have with her after that?
Well, as time went by, as the months kept going and nothing was happening in my life,
Were you talking, corresponding during
I
that time?
started to email her because I thought, after a while I thought, oh, maybe it was just a miscommunication. Maybe we can talk the whole thing out. So I suggested marital counseling. That July, we went to marital counseling where she waived her demands to have her name on all my stuff. Why? Because she couldn't really just tell the counselor, hey, I just married this guy to fleece him. No, she couldn't tell the counselor that. So the counselor says, you're going to get his stuff sometime in the future anyway. So she had to agree to that. So anyway, she waived her demands and agreed to reconcile and get back together. However, she had one condition upon reconciliation.
One condition. What's that one?
That condition was that I pay about $7,000 towards what she said was health insurance for her and the kids that had gone unpaid in the 6 months prior. Now, I'm an insurance guy. I'm just your regular guy. And I'd worked in insurance, and I didn't really know any companies that kept policies open for 6 months if you didn't pay the premiums. But I let it go because I wanted my family back. And so I paid this $7,000.
Now, wait. Now it's coming back to me, Mr. Paul T. Goldman. There was something weird, though, about who you paid and how you paid it, correct?
Oh, yes.
All right,
Oh,
so
yes.
tell us about that. Listen
I
to this,
think-
Richard.
I'm listening.
She said, make the check out to BCBS. Blue
Make the
Cross
check
Blue
out to,
Shield.
that's what you would assume. She said, I'm insured with Blue Cross Blue Shield, BLBS.
That's correct. So I made the check out and I sent it. Okay, we get back together.
Well, you sent it. You sent it to an address that she gave you to send it to.
That's
You didn't
correct.
look it up on the internet where Blue Cross.
No.
She said, send it to this address.
Yes.
All right, so what
I sent
happened?
it. So we reconciled, and everything was okay for 3 weeks or so. And then she comes to me and says, I need another check, $1,500 for some women's tests. Okay. Now, the first time I was suspicious. This time I was really suspicious. So she said, make the check out to BCBS and send it to this address. Well, this time,
And what kind of testing? Just she said, hey, women's stuff.
that's what she said.
Knowing,
Women's stuff.
us men don't like going there. Hey, if it's for women's stuff. Nicole, you ever pull that on a boyfriend? Give me some money. I got some women's stuff to take care of.
No, I've not ever said that to a boyfriend.
All right.
I'm not
Nicole
that girl.
wouldn't do that.
No.
All right. And Paul, I noticed you like sitting close to the lovely Nicole?
I love sitting.
She's quite beautiful,
I
isn't
love
she?
Nicole. Yes, she
I
is.
know. You're
Plus
blushing.
$7,000.
Yeah.
That's right. He's not only
just
is
too
he an
close
easy
to
mark,
cross
but he's a
himself.
nice
I
guy.
know,
Hold on for
right?
10, Nicole.
Yeah.
All right. So back to this amazing story. So you made out a second check to.
Yes, I did.
for-
But I wrote the words Blue Cross Blue Shield on the check. I didn't make
Very
it out
smart
to
of
Good
you.
move. Good move.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what happened?
I mailed it on a Friday. The next day, on a Saturday, she comes to me. She says, they won't process your check.
Uh-oh.
I go, what
I
do you
see
mean?
it coming.
Trouble.
I go, what do you mean they won't process the check? They won't process the check. It's not made out to BCBS.
Ah.
I go, what do you mean? I mailed it yesterday. How could it have gone to the company, up through the mailroom, into underwriting, for somebody there to make a decision that they couldn't process the check, and to call you, and besides, it's Saturday. They don't work on Saturdays.
So you say, do I have moron written on my forehead?
That's exactly
Okay, and what
right.
happened?
Oh,
So
I
what did
said-
she say?
She didn't say anything. I said, get me back my first check, and then I'll write you another check, because I don't want to have two of them sitting out there.
Right.
So the next day, Sunday, she brings me back my check.
Okay.
I write her the check, but I had a plan.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Oh,
I knew it was Sunday. She couldn't deposit it. The following day, Monday morning, I drive to the address where she told me to mail the check,
Okay.
thinking,
It's getting good
Blue
now.
Cross
Now it's
headquarters.
getting good.
I'm going to go meet with this Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance agent and find out why he couldn't take the check made out to Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay, so what
So,
happened? You
we're
drove
gonna
up
change
there?
the names. I drove up there. We're not going to name the city. I'm driving around, don't see the address. I make a U-turn, and then I see it.
What'd you say,
What is
Paul?
it?
A trailer park.
You saw a trailer park.
He's
mailing the
Blue
checks to a
Cross
trailer
Blue Shield.
park.
Instead of an office complex, it's a trailer park.
All right.
Okay. Now the suite was Suite 61.
Yeah.
So I drive through and I'm looking around and I see trailer 58, trailer 59, trailer 60, trailer 61 with a sign on it for sale by owner. Call. And it was her cell phone. Her cell
Oh my! So now,
She's trying to
now-
sell her trailer.
so the blood probably runs right out of your face. You get that sick feeling.
I go to the manager of the park,
Yeah.
and I say, how long has Audrey, who lives in 61? Oh, that's Audrey Munson and her kids. Oh, that's nice. How long they've been living there? Oh, about 2 years. Okay, so I go home, put
Yeah.
a stop payment on that check, and
Good
I wait
for
for her
you.
to come back. When she comes back, I say, honey, you have 2 minutes to explain to me what BCBS is. Oh, Blue Cross Blue Shield. No, it's not.
I love that. I didn't know you do impressions.
Thank you.
Yeah, who was that an impression of?
I don't
You
know.
marry a sound like that.
Yeah, she looked better than she sounded. All right.
So I said, no, it's not. And I was at your trailer today. And with that, she spins around.
Hey, listen, we don't want to make fun of trailers, but was it at least a double wide trailer, Paul? Can you share that with us?
It was disgusting.
This is disgusting.
The trailer itself, no, she remodeled it inside from what I hear, but the trailer park was, I mean, it smelled. It was disgusting.
All right.
So anyway,
So she turned around.
turned around
Yeah.
and drove away, and the next day, I find Mr. Alan Elkins in the phone
You called
book
me
and
up.
called
Now I
me.
remember.
How'd you find him?
Yellow Pages, if
Yellow
I
Pages.
remember correctly.
Yeah, well,
Trailer.
That's how
You're
I
a
found
dinosaur
it, too.
anymore.
Good
So-
thing for the Yellow Pages.
So let me ask you, at some point though, Paul, didn't we actually go online, state of Florida, to determine whether there was a corporate entity? Because she had to cash those checks BCBS, correct?
That's correct. And later, when those bank statements came in from subpoenas,
Right.
it was determined that my money went right into a bank account under the name BCBS, and 6 days later, after my check cleared, she took it out as a cashier's
Right, but my
check.
recollection, if anybody can go onto the state of Florida website, and she had formed a
We found
corporation.
it, and that was one of the exhibits in my divorce trial.
Yes, it was. Along with, time's brief, and I know you said that there were a couple incidents. All right, so you came to see me, and then I imagine it wasn't long we went ahead and filed the divorce.
We filed the divorce, but the main thing happened when you called me up one day and told me to come down to your office because you had subpoenaed her cell phone records.
Okay, and what did they reveal?
You brought me a stack like this, and I checked them out, and I'm starting to look down them, and I see one number that she called 10 times a day, every day, and called back and forth 10 times a day, every day.
Now, Mr. Paul T. Goodman, are we talking about Royce Rocco?
Yes, we are. Ed.
All right.
What is that?
So ultimately, who did we determine Royce Rocco to be?
Her,
Besides an individual having a stupid name. Okay, who was Royce Rocco?
her alleged pimp.
Her alleged pimp. Now,
Ooh.
did we deduce that this was her pimp? I just don't remember. We were curious because of the number of phone calls.
The phone calls to him were just the beginning. There were also phone calls made every day to an outside voicemail box in Miami. And what's a stay-at-home mom doing with an outside voicemail box in Miami, collecting messages 4 or 5 times a day? Okay. Also, there were hundreds calls to about the dozen girls that work for her, and calls to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of men called one time to set up her little appointment.
And listen, I'm
And
also recollecting, I think I recommended that we hire a private investigator, which you did,
that's exactly what I did.
right? And I remember the
right.
guy following her around, to various hotels and whatnot.
They got some hard evidence. It's all in the book. The reports
Yeah, again,
are
anybody
there.
that's interested, how do they get duplicity? Tell us.
I thought of that name, Duplicity, because it's
No, it's a
led
brilliant
double
name. Now,
life.
how do they buy your book? They want to buy it.
Oh, it's on the internet, Kindle edition. Just go to Amazon and do a search. Duplicity True. That's all you have to do.
And how
it'll
much
come
does
up.
this fine book cost if somebody would like to buy it?
Download, if the hard copy is $17 and some odd, but to download it right to your Kindle, $2.99.
That's a good deal.
It is a good deal, Richard. Unfortunately, you don't read. I know you don't read, but you know what?
I look at the pictures, though. I look at the pictures.
But being the shallow individual, I am. There's actually a hot girl on the cover. Who is this? You know?
I don't know. Your wife?
Not my wife. My wife
Maybe
is
it's fourth
hot.
wife, but not.
Huh?
Maybe that's your fourth
Yeah,
wife.
maybe my fourth wife. I don't know. But where did this stock photo come from?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what it is?
Yeah.
So you looked at a bunch of hot-looking women and you say, "Hey, this one looks pretty doggone attractive. maybe you ought to look into who she is." I think that would be the next thing that we do.
Is that what she looked like?
But let me ask you, it sounds
No,
like she had a
Audrey
pretty
had-
lucrative
had
business going on.
Brown hair.
Oh.
Well,
What's
listen. So Richard loves money, and he's saying that she's doing pretty well for herself. Correct?
Oh, You got that right.
But why is she living in a mobile home park?
Because she has 2 ex-husbands who are paying her child support.
Right.
And she has to pretend, and she's got a mother and a father. She doesn't want them to find out what she's doing.
Well, so she must have
Listen,
a whole bunch
guys,
of money.
wait a minute. Here's what we need to do.
Socked
We need to
away.
take our final break, Lynn, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the trial, the final hearing.
Life is so overwhelming right now, isn't it? Emotional and financial challenges too much? More debt than you can possibly handle? Are you facing divorce or another family law problem? Injured and don't know where to turn? There is a source of solid, affordable legal guidance. At Elkins & Friedman, an experienced lawyer will explain options and treat you with respect and dignity. They help people throughout Central and South Florida solve those problems. This is a law firm you can trust, where they actually pick up the phone when you call. They have a 30-year record of positive results, and they make legal costs manageable for people from all walks of life. Make the call, 954-372-2630. When you visit, you might even meet Tiffany, the office mascot. Elkins & Friedman take the intimidation and the worry out of getting the legal help you really need. Call 954-372-2630 and begin to make sense of your life. Offices in Fort Lauderdale, Boynton Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. Non-lawyer spokesperson. Today, so many different companies are offering varied views and choices to a healthier life, but few companies offer healthier choices, healthy tips, and multiple choices under one roof. Presenting Regents Park of Boca Raton's first Health and Wellness Expo on Saturday, May 17th. From 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., Regents Park of Boca Raton will have the medical community in-house to educate and inform the public on many needed services, such as blood pressure screenings, Healthy Touch Reiki, and much, much more. Regents is located at 6363 Verde Trail in Boca Raton, Florida, 33433, and it's free to the public. Delicious food samplings will be featured, and healthy tips for better living will be offered. Valet parking will be available too. For more information, call 561-483-9282 or visit their website at www.regentsparkofbocaraton.com. Follow them on Facebook or YouTube and mark it on your calendar. May 17th at 10 a.m. at Regents Park of Boca Raton. Let them help get you on the path to better living. Please welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet network that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet television production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes and live streaming, as well as tape productions. Let AMP2 TV handle all of your television production needs. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP2.tv. Or call them at 1-866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422. You're listening to the Alan Elkins and Rich Friedman Know Nothing Show, with 2 longtime attorneys who are here to share their experience and knowledge and some fun along the way. The toll-free number, if you want to participate, is 1-800-889-0267.
And we're back, everybody, for our final segment. Richard, I got to say, this is a powerhouse show tonight.
I know, this is probably one of our best shows.
I don't see how we could possibly get thrown off the air after tonight's show.
Who's throwing us off the air? What are you kidding me? They're going to renew our contract.
Listen, the only sad part, Richard, besides not getting to the lizard up the penis story, I also had a story about a guy having sex with a horse. And I know you were looking forward to that.
Say that for next
having sex
week.
with a horse. Yeah, he put it on Craigslist. He wanted to have sex with a horse.
All right.
You have so many bestiality stories.
What's that, Freddie?
You put the horse on crack meat?
Yeah, he was trolling for horses. So
Let's get back to the trial.
we'll have to get to that. All right, so here we go.
Digress.
So I don't remember how long it took to get to trial. We made an effort to settle the case, but she was a greedy pig. We were not able to settle the case and ultimately had to go to a trial.
That's right, because she wanted half my assets, which was, we made reasonable settlement offer, but
I believe
she
we did
refused.
make a reasonable settlement offer. So
Half his assets. That's crazy for a short-term marriage.
Okay, but
who was her attorney?
But let me tell you what the problem was, Richard. Remember, for instance, on his property, at some point you did in fact sign it over to her. So the problem was, of course, there's a presumption now that she owns half of the property. So she was holding out for that property. Our argument was it was done under fraud, that it was a sham marriage. So, Paul, I can't remember how long the testimony was, but I remember we had the private investigator testify. I remember we had emails. I even remember, and tell me if I'm wrong, that we had receipts for hotel trips that she took with, was it Mr. Royce Rocco?
Yes.
So she took trips with the guy. She couldn't explain any of it.
3 weeks after we were married, she took a 1-week trip to him, with him to Savannah, Georgia, and stayed in a hotel with him.
And of course, we found that out after the fact. And all along, when she said she was going, it was to take care of her sick grandmother, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And you told me something interesting. I don't remember this, but you said a couple of my lines that you liked during the trial. Okay, what was that?
The trial was amazing. I walk into the courtroom, and there's Alan Elkins up drawing on an easel. The first thing at the top was 56 days, because that's the amount of time we spent together.
And I'm big on props, so keep talking, Paul. I'm going to show you.
Under that was no contribution, so we proved that she made no contribution towards the down payment of that house that she had her name on, and so therefore she didn't deserve half of it. And at the bottom, in big block letters, he wrote prostitution.
Prostitution. I called her out. You know?
And you proved that she was a prostitute.
You know what's reminiscent? You know what's kind of interesting, and I forgot that, but I'm big on props. I have a case coming up, and I don't know if we can see this on camera, Freddie, but this would be apropos in your case. I'm going to use this next week in a case. This is my client, okay, and the wife is after the golden goose eggs. So that's my prop. So I guess I'm as creative now. I haven't lost it, Rich.
That's a good prop.
I'm using that next week. Taking advantage of the goose. All right. So you also told me that at some point, I guess when we took a break, we were actually interviewed by local television.
I had approached the local TV people to start an investigative reporter to start investigating this ring that I uncovered.
Bring a little heat on her.
Bring a little heat on her. Well, they couldn't investigate. They didn't have the resources, but they told me that they could go the day of my trial and film and report on whatever was said during that day. That's perfectly legal. So I walk in, and Alan is there setting up his easel, and there is a TV reporter from one of the local TV stations setting up her camera. Okay. Our first witness was Private Eye.
Okay.
And he testified that she testified that they had followed Audrey to a nightclub one evening a while before, and she walks in there, and there's Royce and a bunch of sleazy characters all around a big table. The liquor's flowing, and all night long, men are coming up to Royce and asking him, "How much is she?"
Okay, you actually remember that the investigator was able to overhear that.
The investigator standing 3 feet away.
Of course, we talk about no expectation of privacy, and that conversation anybody can listen to and can go ahead and record for that matter.
Well, they didn't record it, but she testified that standing 3 feet away, Royce said, in reference to Audrey, offer her $250 and see if she'll
we're
take
short
it.
on time, so who was the next witness?
Next witness was the other Private Eye who followed her from one Boca community to another on a Saturday night, one at 10 o'clock, one at midnight,
Following
one
her
at
while
2
she's
o'clock.
performing her tricks,
That's
driving
correct.
here, driving there, with no apparent reason for doing so late at night.
No, I don't think so.
All right, then what?
Then the second husband who testified that after...
We called the second husband as a
yes,
witness?
we did. His marriage lasted 4 months because she kept on nagging him to put her name on all his assets.
All right.
And
of course,
then-
most wives do that. But
Yeah.
hey, listen, cumulative evidence, but the weight of the evidence, so that was good.
And then came Audrey, and Alan started asking her about the phone logs. Ms. Munson, you made 3 phone calls to Royce Rocco the day of your marriage to Mr. Goldman, and 3 calls at night after your wedding night, one at 11:45, one at midnight, and one at 12:15. Ms. Munson, did you make these phone calls? No. What do you mean, Miss Munson? These are your phone logs.
Well, is this your phone line? So he's right, Richard. So if you can believe the gall that she had, she's actually calling her boyfriend/pimp on the wedding night. On the wedding night.
Can't you take one night off?
It's outrageous. Apparently
Not even one night off.
All right, so we called her, and she was a terrible witness. We impeached the heck out of her. And then I remember we also had a series of emails. And correct me if I'm wrong, I had emails, and I remember saying to the judge, "While you're professing your love for her, she's professing her love for her boyfriend."
You remember the line? Okay.
I do remember that.
After she was dismissed and I was called to the stand, her lawyer came up to me and had me read one of my emails that I had written to her while we were separated, professing my love to her and wanting to get back together. Okay. Mr. Goldman, did you write this email? Yeah, I wrote that email. Okay. And then Alan Elkins hits the home run of the night.
The home run.
The home run.
The home run.
Grand slam.
From his seat, he yells, "Judge, isn't it a shame that while Mr. Goldman, was writing emails to his wife, she was writing love emails to
Yeah, I think it was actually part of my closing argument.
That's a home run.
But it was brilliant. Now, let me do this, because we're short on time. Let me tell you what this smart judge did, and he is one of the best judges in Palm Beach County. He specifically says he found that her testimony was not credible, that she was willing to lie and misrepresent when it suited her purpose. She entered into the marriage not for love but for money. Then we gave the specific examples of dummy corporations, and in short, found that your testimony, on the other hand, Mr. Paul T. Goldman, was credible, and the court found you to be both naive and gullible. Okay, that should be the worst thing somebody says about you. It says Mr. Finkelman made 100% contribution to the marriage versus Mrs. Johnson, which made 0. So how's that, Richard?
That's a good one.
Slammed her good. And although the judge said that whether she's a prostitute or not wasn't actually relevant, but that her explanation of cash deposits, which she had of about 40,000, and she alleged that they were gifts from her aunt and uncle, or aunt and father, and the court found that to be disingenuous. So, grandson, we walked out of there. You didn't pay her anything, and she walked out of there with her tail between her legs.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it was.
She got what she deserved.
Now,
Nothing.
It is. In closing, because we don't have a lot of time since then, I know you've moved on. Have you found love? Let me
I
ask
have
you
not
that.
found love yet.
Yeah,
Well, don't give up. You'll
I hear
find
there's
it.
some great new
You'll find it.
websites,
Very
Paul. You
much.
might want to try. In fact, Nicole's been on all.
Why don't you tell a few of them?
Be on
Tell them a
Tinder.
few.
Tinder's fun.
That's right. You hear that? Nicole knows.
yeah.
Tinder. You can see who you're going to go
Find a guy
out.
anywhere. Or
Yeah. Nicole, truth be known, you didn't have a great experience. Did we talked about that on the air last week, right?
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Well, I don't want to divert.
That was a good story, too.
This is clearly Paul T. Goldman's night. So, Paul, I know you're living back here locally. I wish you much success with the book. And hopefully we have some gentlemen here, and lady. I did see one lady, and they are here. This may result in a possible movie down the line.
The book is called The Eye of Hollywood.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us tonight. Anybody have anything
No,
to add? as
great
we-
show, Alan.
Nah, that was a great show.
It
Great
was
show.
a great
Very
show.
interesting.
Excellent show.
All right,
Come on.
everybody. We should be back here next week.
We
so
should be.
Look forward to seeing you then.
Same time,
Night,
7:06 p.m. Good night.
You've been listening to the Elkins and Friedman Know Nothing Show, where maybe you learned a little something in spite of them. To reach Alan Elkins or Rich Friedman at their offices, call 954-772-6014 or 561-738-5988. Out of area, call toll-free 1-800-922-1277 or go online to elkinsandfriedman.com. Friedman is spelled with 2 E's. Be back here next week for more from Elkins and Friedman and their Know Nothing Show.